Nuevamente, buenos días a todos. Un gusto volver a saludarlos, ver caras nuevas, también un gusto conocerles. Quetsol es una empresa fundada en el 2010 por guatemaltecos, fundada en Guatemala. Fue fundada con el propósito de solucionar la falta al acceso a la electricidad. La fundamos mi socio, Manuel Antonio Aguilar, y mi persona. Él desgraciadamente hoy no puede estar con nosotros, ya que está participando en una conferencia llamada TED Global en Escocia, por lo que yo estaré aquí presentándoles nuestro producto. Realmente el equipo gerencial ha hecho todo esto posible, pues principalmente por nuestro background que cada uno tenemos y cómo este background se complementa entre uno y el otro. En el caso de Tono, pues él se graduó de Harvard estudiando astrofísica y pues él se ha ocupado de todo el espacio técnico y financiero, y yo pues a través de mi experiencia en Procter & Gamble, pues mercadeo y ventas, estoy encargado en el área comercial.
Quetsol illuminating the future. Here, who lives, there is no electricity. Maria's home also has no electricity. No light means no health, no light means no education, and for Antonio here, light means progress. They are part of the 520,000 homes who do not have access to electricity in Guatemala. 12 million homes in Latin America, and in the world 1.7 billion people do not have electricity, and all of them seek progress. And this is why we appeared. Quetsol provides energy solutions that are sustainable, effective, and mainly economically accessible. So when customers acquire our product, they automatically improve the quality of their lives. And to put things in a bit of context for you, this is the main product that we have. It's a 10-watt product that has two basic needs: light and communication. You see here a little bit price over a 3-year period. We give 3-year guarantees, and then we compare it to the most common substitute. The first is, of course, the electricity company. Somebody who has two light bulbs and fills their cell phone every now and then will spend 720 quetzals over 2 years, 2,700. And somebody who has candles, which is the most common substitute, after 3 years will have spent 3,300 quetzals. Ours is worth 1,900 quetzals. So it is about just a little over half what candles cost. Despite what we want to do was break this economic barrier, and that is what proves to us that this is a viable solution on the market. But even at that price, an option, they still need an option of microfinancing, because not everybody has 1,900 quetzals in Guatemala. So we are selling these on credit. Due to the high demand and the success of our product, we are now starting a 30 and 75 watt product now in August, due to the success of this smaller model. Now, our business model, it starts with the client, of course, and based on them we designed the business model and our product. The various components, there's of course financing, which is indispensable so they can access, now they weigh 3 quetzals a day on quetzals 90 a month through our strategic alliances with the largest credit foundation in the country and the largest bank in the country. We offer a monthly quota of 98 quetzals. So they pay 90 quetzals for very, very poor service, for quality service, where they will be able to load up their cell phones and have light bulbs for less than these 90 quetzals that they spend on candles. The second element that's crucial is innovative. This kit is now in its 4th generation due to the economy of scale of our providers. It allows us to constantly improve our products, since in addition we are constantly out there in the field getting direct information from our clients, and the feedback they give us allows us to develop a better product that matches their needs better. Then it's also appropriate technology, and by this I mean it's sustainable. We're not using just renewable energy, but also a technology that has the correct price profile, quality profile, and finally distribution and coverage. Or customers live in marginal communities. They're far away from the main cities and towns, therefore coverage is indispensable. Now with our strategic alliances, we have coverage in 100% of the towns and municipalities in Guatemala. We're now throughout the country. Last year we signed with Ban Rural, with the biggest bank, and they have 900 agencies. So now our coverage as far as distribution is really growing exponentially. Our business model has an integral impact that, like I say, improves the education level and productivity. First, we help them in terms of their pocketbook. We are lowering their expenses, so these can be invested in more important things in the home. For example, this little board there, this little panel lasts 3 years, but we can easily expand it to last 20 years at 85% efficiency. So people will be able to save a lot of money over a long period of time. In social terms, we are improving the connectivity of people. Right now, they don't have proper communication technology, but like I say, with this, you can charge a cell phone. So we are with that opening even internet. So we are indeed opening the doors to the world to a child with a cell phone that a month ago was living practically in the Middle Ages. Now, by providing light, they will not always use fire for lighting. Therefore, there will not always be smoke in the house. This should reduce respiratory infections, diminish the amount of burns among children, and so that's the good health effect. And of course, also the constant burning of candles and so on has its effect upon the environment as well. Now, in Quetsol, our vision is global. We have 1.7 billion people who need a solution. So we have a tremendous demand out there. And according to Greenpeace, for the year 2050, solar energy will be providing 20% of the energy supply. And right now, it's not even at 1%. So in the next 30 years, there is going to be a tremendous boom in renewable technologies and solar technology in particular. So we need to expand our portfolio in this market. This is a market that's barely getting started. It's practically a virgin market. And this means we will then be leaders, I believe, in Latin America in the short and medium term. Regarding competition, there's two. There's direct competition and indirect. The main is, of course, the common substitutes, which are candles, kerosene lamps, and generators. These are not renewable. And then at renewable level, we have a competitor, which is Technosol. And I say they're direct competitors because they have a similar business model and are offering products for basic energy. And really, it's the paradigm is that this is, of course, elitist, and then it's only, sort of for upper middle class people. We are aiming at a different segment of it. Then indirect competition, there's D-Light, there's Focus, these are Canadians, but they do not have a business model like you. They have a product that is at this very, very basic level that we are at, nor do they have a robust structure on the ground, in the territory, in the markets, to be able to provide the needed service. So it's indirect competition for us. If we look a little bit at the financial metrics of this, and look forward to the year 2014, 3 years down the road, we are growing almost exponentially. We think we'll have $510,000 this year. Taking into account that we already have, then we're assuming we will have the capitalization and therefore acquire the inventory to supply the demand in the year 2012. You can see there By 2013, we're doing very, very well, and by 2014, we will be at $3.5 million. So this is big numbers, very ambitious, but how does one get there? First, alliances with microfinance companies. This is something that is already on paper. The alliances have been signed. All we need to do now is execute the plan, and to that end we are going to need a robust infrastructure too, so as to be able to not only supply the demand but provide the necessary service. And in the next 4 years then we hope to sell 50,000 systems. And we will also, another way of doing it is new distribution channels. We have then this basic energy, that's our core business. And this we intend to increase distribution first through retail sales. There are many electrodomestic stores, Electra, Y agency, and so on. And these, we will want to work with them in the various local municipalities also who are willing to invest in at least initial samples, take it to communities so the communities see it's viable and that they can afford it. Then there will be an international expansion through NGOs and other funds that are interested in this. And in addition to basic energy, we will also be diversifying into advanced energy proposals. And here, the impact we have caused has generated a lot of attention and credibility. So many people thinking of doing solar energy for themselves have now come to us. Our profile at the beginning was not very clear. This is going to be an attractive market. We now see that it is something we have to capitalize. We must capitalize because it really is something that is going to take off in the future. Then there's international expansion. We have a proven model, a proven product. What we need to do now is replicate it in different countries. So we expect that the next 2 or 3 years, we hope to be in at least 2 additional countries in Central America. And the final component is the Quetsol Foundation itself. In the distribution of our market, there are people there who really will never be able to buy our product, who really cannot even afford our solution. Therefore, we set up the Quetsol Foundation. The goal of the Quetsol Foundation is to solve the problem and absolutely reduce to zero, to eradicate lack of electrification in Guatemala. And this is based on people who maybe get a tax break due to their contribution. And we attack the problem from both sides, not only from the commercial aspect, but also from the non-profit aspect. To achieve this, we need $500,000, and broken down as follows. Our main objective right now is to expand at local level in Guatemala and have the necessary infrastructure to be able to reach the objectives we have set ourselves in this inventory. We had $200,000 for the inventory to be able to, to have sufficient kits to attend to the rural area where demand is enormous. And then we're also talking about the larger panels, computers and so on, so as to be able to deal also with more advanced models. And then in Guatemala, this means that we will have 4 branches in the country, and they are designed to have much closer contact with the client, accelerate sales, and provide a much faster service because, as you know, these communities are often way, way outlying. And we try to get as close to them as we possibly can. Then installations. Here we're talking about trucks, motorcycles, especially to get out to these, as I say, outlying communities. And then expansion in Central America, where we would need $150,000, $75,000 for each of the 2 countries that we intend to expand to. The idea would be to find a local partner who would be able to match the investment, and that should not just be a distributor, but rather somebody who really can provide this service and implement the Quetsol values. So we are looking for a mix of capital. We're looking for capitalist partners. We want this to be long-term, who bring something additional to the table, new markets, new networks. We are looking also for part of the capital through debt. Our projections and success we've already achieved. We can maybe take on debt at an attractive rate and attractive line, and then a credit line. And here we are producing in China through a credit line. So we are never lacking inventory. So we hope that in the near future, at least this little box, to be able to assemble this box in Guatemala rather than China, and thus be able to control the product. Right now we don't have economy of scale to be producing them there. Okay, it's been a great pleasure to me to give you this presentation. I hope you liked it. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, I will be more than happy to answer them. Roberto Montenegro, PM Capital. First of all, I want to congratulate you for the presentation and the initiative. Very interesting. I have two questions. One is as regards capitalization. What size would the counterpart be? Well, we want to expand, as I say, $75,000 ourselves, 75,000 the capitalist partner. So we would be sharing the margin, probably 50-50, but it's very important that the local partner not only have the capital, but also the structure and necessary contacts in the country, locally. And my second question is, once the company takes off and has very interesting sales like those you are foreseeing, what defense will you have vis-a-vis larger companies who identify the growth in this sector and enter to compete? Good question, thank you. I would say we will remain leaders in the field, and the first is our strategic alliances. We have already worked then immediately with the largest credit foundation and the largest bank. That right there creates barriers for competitors. It will be very difficult for them to achieve our sales projections or what we're foreseeing to sell. Another important barrier is, and that we've implemented, and is that we have an integral model. So, like I say, anybody can design this product in China. I mean, it's nothing new. These panels have been around for many years now in the markets and the batteries as well. So this is no big deal. But what will allow us to block somebody else to come in with a similar product is our understanding with the client and our closeness to them. The fact we're now, as I say, in the 4th generation already. And we've tried that the use interface be easier and easier. And by interface, I mean that it's a very important component for this to be successful. Because, I mean, Tecnosol, that has sold products for poor consumers, but they don't have a design as efficient as ours. They, to provide a light to 2 or 3 bulbs, use a 50-watt panel. I'm using 10. Theirs is a product is worth $450. Mine is worth $240. That's because of the size of the panel. Also, the interface is just plug and play. It couldn't be easier. Most people are illiterate that receive this service, but it's no big deal. They will easily be able to plug it in. And but for example, these 40,000 systems that exist in Nicaragua, Tecnosol has had to go and install each. We just install the panel, turn on the light, turn off the light. I mean, there's a little drawing there for charging the battery of your cell phone, a little drawing of a bulb. It couldn't be easier.
You were talking about the Quetsol Foundation and developing a free or highly subsidized model for those who can't afford. Is there a risk that your regular customers at the base of the pyramid will get the expectation that more heavily discounted or free product would become available and stop buying?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we definitely took into account the cannibalization effect that we could make, But the core of our sales will never be the foundation. The foundation, for example, next year we're trying to sell about 15,000 kits, 10,000 kits, which the foundation will only put about 1,000 of those in the market. These 1,000 kits will be very, very well placed because we will select the communities that have the lowest incomes and that are correlated to the low electrification, you know. So we will do, and we've been doing it, a huge lobbying with the municipalities to really understand which communities are in dire, yeah, you understand me. So basically, we're going to choose the communities very well in order to not have that effect, you know. Yeah, and I just wanted to show you a little bit more about the foundation. The foundation is just a legal entity. However, we have developed this concept that will be the umbrella in which the efforts will be canalized. The campaign is called Ilumina Guate. So Ilumina Guate will involve all levels of society on solving the problem. First, people who donate, and second, people that will go actively to the communities and install the kits.
I apologize if you covered this. You were talking fast, but the distribution, sales and distribution, and also service, if things break down, are those aspects that you're going to handle yourself? I heard you say that you're going to be in retail stores, but what about, you know, the more remote and rural villages and sales and service? And are you going to have partnerships or do that yourself?
Well, right now, through our business model already, through our partnerships, we are able to give service immediately through our partners, you know. Basically, we have designed several routes around the country in which we get to one specific part of the country each 4 weeks. So people know that, or the branches or the people will know that each 4 weeks we're going to be in Huehuetenango, or each 4 weeks we're going to be in Quetzaltenango. However, if people want a quicker service, we're going to have the local branches, and of course we have a mechanism that is just sending replacement parts through Guatex. Guatex is a local transport company that has also branches in every municipality. So basically we send a kit today and it reaches that municipality tomorrow. You know, so all of our kits have our telephone printed in the back. The manuals have also the phone printed. And it's all about expectations, you know. A huge component of our business model is education and training of our clients. So before we sell any kits, we are really trying to train and have a direct contact with our clients in order to explain how they're going to service the kit while the panel lasts. We're not just trying to sell a kit and bye-bye. We're trying to sell a micro electrification system throughout the lifespan of the panel.
Can you talk about your partners?
Okay.
And what their role is and the economics for them?
Principal partners right now are, like I said, Ban Rural and Fundación Génesis. They, in their structure, have several branches, and each branch has, they sell credit. You know, they have 5 sales people that sell credits and go to the communities actively. They don't just receive people in the branches. So they are constantly on the field looking for new clients. So what we've done is that each of the branches, we have trained them and we have given them one sample. So they are able to go promote the systems, and secondly, they are able to sell them and train the people when they give the kits out. So basically, we've designed a pyramid of education, you know, and material that helps people understand better how to use a product and how to maintain it. So that's just communication, you know, maintaining clear expectations and always an open channel of communication with our clients and our partners.
So the microfinance employees they're selling for you
Exactly.
in the villages.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
Okay.
So for example, they've sold kits, and then one of the 20 kits they sold last month results that the battery's not working, you know. So usually, since the microfinance institutions have a very close and personal relationship with them, it's not like they do constant follow-up, you know, through the credit life, and also give assessment on how people should distribute their money, you know. So they help them in a lot of ways. So they trust the institutions. That's why most of the times they go through them before they call us, you know. So basically, the branch, they have a checklist of questions. So the client comes out, oh, my panel is not charging. So we start checking off what's wrong with the panel, and eventually if we determine that the battery it doesn't work or the panel doesn't work, then immediately we just change the panel with no questions asked. We just send it, we take care of the shipment, and then people just get their panel changed, you know.
And those microfinance institutions, are they making a commission, or just they're making money only on the interest? Or
they make money on the interest and they have a commission. Yeah, and the commission is strictly focused on the salesperson, you know, because they're the ones that are on the field. For example, of the 1,900 quetzales, we give about 200 quetzales to the branch, which is distributed in the branch manager, the secretary, but mostly 85% of it goes to the salesperson. And that 85% is divided into two. First, into just placing a new kit, which is going to be about 50 quetzales, and then the other 150 quetzales, we attach it to the credit life. So this allows and promotes to keep a healthy credit and not just, you know, start selling kits like crazy without people that can't pay it.
We have time for one more quick question. One more.
I'm just gonna piggyback on that. How many branches are there in right now with the MFIs?
We started with Genesis Empresarial with a pilot, 5 branches in about September, October last year. We launched the national program in March of this year, reached 58 branches, and right now that we signed with Ban Rural, they have 900 branches, but we're never going to reach to distribute and cover all of the 900 branches. So we're going to have an initial phase of 50 branches, in which it's going to be the pilot, you know, to establish what mediums we're going to need and what's going to be efficient. And then we're going to take those 50 branches to 330 branches, which is 1 branch per municipality.
And you had mentioned that you want to start 4 branches that are Quetsol branches.
Yes.
And that's part of the capital that you're looking for. Can you explain the benefits of those branches and how they relate with the other branches?
Well, right now, during this stage, it has been great to leverage ourselves on their infrastructure, you know, because we haven't had to hire more salespeople, so we've been able to cut costs down. However, they sell a lot of things. They don't sell only solar panels. You know, they have a huge portfolio, and panels is a part of it. So having our own salespeople and our own infrastructure will help us accelerate and sell more kits more rapidly. You know, so having one branch. Each one of the branches is going to be strategically placed in parts of the country, and each branch is going to have their salespeople that are at the same time are technicians that can fix any kit at any time. You know.